Hello everybody, welcome to the Empressive channel. Is the artist Tyla becoming unlikable, or are people trying to find a reason to dislike her? Let's talk about it. Now, this past week at the MTV Music Video Awards, Tyla received an award for Best Afrobeat Song for her hit song Water. She walked up on stage and she tried to get somebody to hold her award for her. Now, this award was presented by Halle and Lil Nas X, and it was kind of a funny girl moment because when Tyla got on stage, Halle asked her to hold the envelope because Halle wasn't trying to hold nothing, and Tyla asked somebody to hold her award because she wasn't trying to hold nothing either.
You guys know me and holding awards. I'm not strong enough. Please.
Now, thankfully, Lil Nas X held the award for Tyla. You know, this is why we need men, okay? But yeah, people thought this whole interaction was a bit awkward for some reason. People didn't like the fact that Tyla was asking somebody to hold her award, and it seemed as if she was looking for Halle to hold it at first, but Halle stood there with a smile and said, "No, girl, I'm not doing that." So I thought that was very interesting, but it wasn't as deep as everybody made it out to be because both Halle and Tyla kind of cleared up the whole misconception that it was a shady moment when I don't think it was really that serious. And I did hear that the Moon Man is actually very heavy. In fact, Olivia Rodrigo had somebody hold her award because it was just too heavy for her to carry in one hand.
No. It's so heavy, I literally have no upper body strength. Thank you.
Listen,
oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
Listen. So knowing how heavy the award is, I could kind of see why Tyla wasn't prepared to hold it, I guess. This is not the first time she has asked somebody to hold her award either.
Ooh, this is very heavy. Can you please hold for me? I'm sorry.
I just think Tyla doesn't have a lot of upper body strength, which is why it's hard for her to hold these awards. But a lot of people were turned off by her asking someone to hold her award, and now there's this narrative going around that she's stuck up and she's being a diva and she's unlikable. There's even a moment when she was called out for looking dead in the camera while Megan Thee Stallion and Yuki were performing Magamushi, and people thought she was being shady, but really the whole time she was dancing and singing along while Megan was performing. I think she just didn't like the camera in her face, but either way, people thought it was odd, and now Tyla is kind of going viral for her attitude. They think she's snooty. The YouTuber Armand Wiggins went viral for calling her an entitled uppity African, which Tyla took offense to. She actually put it in her bio, and yeah, I think the comment was a bit tone deaf a little bit, and I love Armand, and I know he didn't mean to offend a group of people, but he did. However, I think I understand what he was trying to say. Tyla does come from a mixed heritage, and in her country, South Africa, she identifies as colored, and in South Africa, colored people tend to be treated better than actual Black Africans. And who knows, maybe Tyla carries this mindset with her where she kind of feels like she's better than other people based off how she was treated in her home country. I'm not saying that's true, but it can come across that way. And she's had little moments that have created this whole discourse about her attitude. In fact, she was called out for snubbing the South African Minister of Arts and Culture. He tried to take a picture with her Grammy and she grabbed it away. And she had another moment when she went on The Breakfast Club and she went viral for dodging questions about her race and also refusing to answer other questions.
School me on these debates that they be having about your identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Can we not? Por favor.
Oh, I like that. We keeping that in the interview too.
They didn't want us to ask about Kai Sinat. The whole "we friends" though thing. Right?
Yeah.
Like, huh?
Okay.
They didn't want to ask. They didn't want us to ask about her not being on tour with Chris Brown anymore. They didn't want us to ask about the color thing.
Injury.
They didn't want us to ask about her injury that she sustained. What else was it? They didn't want to ask us about who she was dating, which I wouldn't do anyway. And what was the other one?
Comparing.
Oh yeah, and comparison. And it wasn't even Rihanna. It just said comparisons to other pop artists. Huh?
So with the whole controversy surrounding her interview on The Breakfast Club and now this whole controversy at the VMAs, people now feel like Tyla is just full of herself and unlikable. Now, I will say this. I think Tyla is very misunderstood, and I don't think she's fully self-aware in a sense because she does come from a different culture. She is South African, so I don't think she's fully acclimated to the norms of Western culture. She doesn't really know the proper etiquette of a pop star. I mean, most pop stars who are considered likable have to appear humble. You know, they carry their own awards. They're gracious in interviews. They're gracious towards their peers. They know how to play industry politics. And yeah, they could have personality, but they can't act like they're too full of themselves. So it's a fine line they have to walk. The minute they step out of line, that's when people call them out. It happened to Ariana Grande early in her career. People thought she was being a diva. Doja Cat was getting called out for her attitude at one point. And it's now happening to people like Ice Spice and Chappelle Roan, who have been called out for having bad attitude. So when the artist doesn't follow the proper pop star etiquette, they will get called out. The only time they do get a pass is if they put in the work and solidify their career. But if they're new and they're acting brand new, then yeah, people will call them out. And this is what's happening to Tyla right now. And I know Tyla's personality might not be everybody's cup of tea. I mean, she is bubbly, she is extra, and she's also super, super confident. She's a pretty girl and she knows it. And I actually don't mind personalities like that. I actually appreciate people who are confident in themselves. And I don't even mind if they're a little cocky at times either. Like, if you are good at what you do, and if you really are that girl, then be that girl or be that guy. I don't mind it. I actually like it. But on the flip side, I could see how some people might be put off by personality types like that. And they might look at Tyla and think, well, oh, she thinks she all that. And really, she's just being herself. So people are going to like her. Some people are not. It is what it is, but she's just being herself. Now, moving on, I want to talk about Lil Wayne because he finally broke his silence after not getting the opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. Kendrick Lamar was actually picked to headline the halftime show next year, and I do think Kendrick is going to do a really, really good job. Definitely think he deserves it, but a lot of people feel like Lil Wayne should have gotten the opportunity. The show is in his hometown, New Orleans. And also, he has been campaigning for it. He said multiple times that he wants to headline the halftime show. And I believe there were some negotiations about it because not too long ago, he was spotted with the curator of the halftime show, Jay-Z. So I'm pretty sure they've had talks about it. But unfortunately for him, he wasn't picked, and he was really sad about it.
That hurt. Hurt a lot. You know what I'm talking about? It hurt a whole lot. I blame myself for not being mentally prepared for a letdown. For just automatically mentally putting myself in that position like somebody told me that was my position. So I blame myself for that. But I thought that was nothing, I thought that was nothing better than that spot and that stage and that platform in my city. So it hurt. It hurt a whole lot. But y'all are fucking amazing. It made me feel like shit not getting this opportunity. And when I felt like shit, you guys reminded me that I ain't shit without y'all. And like I said, it broke me. And I'm just trying to put me back together. But my God, have you all helped me.
So that's what Wayne had to say, and it's clear that he was sad about it. It is. Now, some people might say that maybe he wasn't picked because he's not in the best condition to perform. I mean, his latest performances haven't been that good. Also, they feel like Kendrick had a hotter year, so he deserved it more. And I do believe Kendrick deserves that spot too. A lot of people do, if we're being honest. There are a lot of people, not just hip hop artists, but you can look at the country category, the pop category. A lot of people deserve that spot at the halftime show, but Jay-Z selected Kendrick instead. And personally, I think he selected Kendrick over Wayne because not only did he feel like Wayne probably wasn't ready, but also he does have some issues with Wayne's affiliates. Like, he doesn't care for Birdman or Nicki Minaj or Drake. I also think he selected Kendrick to spite Drake, and nobody could tell me different. Drake doesn't want to conform or bow down to Jay-Z, and he's made it pretty obvious. He's given Jay-Z his respects, but he doesn't want to be under Jay-Z's thumb. He's trying to be his own gatekeeper. So I think this is an issue for somebody like Jay, who is a gatekeeper already, and he's used to calling the shots and making people fall in line. It's an issue for him to see somebody like Drake not fall in line. And this latest story about Jay-Z and Drake is actually making me believe my theory even more, because it was put out there that Jay-Z did ask Drake to perform at the Super Bowl twice, in 2020 and in 2021. But Drake turned it down. Surprise, surprise. Now, I think he turned it down because of the tense history that he has had with Jay. And I talked about it in more detail in my previous video, so you could check that out to see the backstory there. But I think he turned him down for that reason, and he just doesn't want to be under his thumb. But I can imagine that this was insulting to Jay-Z, because here he was trying to make a peace offering and do business with him, but Drake had the nerve to turn him down.
The sticky part about all of this is Drake has been offered this Super Bowl show for some years now and has turned it down.
I have an authority. My multiple sources have told me that Drake has indeed turned down the Super Bowl. He actually turned down the first two, the one in Miami and the weekend one.
That was the first two that Jake took over?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jay takes over, and again, his rival, whatever, Drake, like you talk about all these history and this back and forth. I mean, these guys are all rivals with each other. They've had their good times and bad times with each other. But business-wise, Jay-Z wanted Drake on that Super Bowl stage, and he turned it down twice. So now years later, when an opportunity is asked of Kendrick, and Kendrick says yes, just is Jay not playing fair there? Should Drake feel a way about it when he's known himself? He's had opportunity to do it.
No, that affects it.
And he's turned it down.
That changes
twice.
my opinion. Did you ask why he would have turned it down?
I don't know why, but he did turn it down.
He turned it down because, like I said, Drake doesn't want to bow to Jay-Z. That's it. That's all. And I wouldn't be surprised if he felt a way about it. And so as his get back, he got Kendrick instead. Now, this is not to say that Kendrick is second best or second choice or anything. Kendrick had a big year this year. He was the only hip hop artist who was in the top 10 consistently throughout the year. So it makes business sense to choose him, but I don't think he was simply chosen just for business. I think he was chosen partly to get back at Drake. And in the process, Lil Wayne was snubbed. And this hurt Lil Wayne because I guess he had his hopes up. And this is why Nicki Minaj was going off the way she did, because I think she knew how much this hurt him. But people were saying she was crazy and overreacting. But no, she knew that her friend and her mentor was hurt by this, and she was speaking up on his behalf. But anyway, tell me what y'all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.